How to set up Steam Link on iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. Steam Link allows you to stream games from your gaming rig to a mobile device. And it's finally back in Apple's App Store. In this guide, we'll help you set up Steam Link on your iPhone, iPad, or Apple TV. Initially, Steam Link was a $50 set-top box you connected to your TV. It enabled you to stream your Steam library from a host PC on the same network. It arrived alongside Valve's now-defunct Steam Machine initiative. Given most gamers now own mobile devices, smart TVs, and set-top boxes, Valve discontinued the hardware version in favor of an app-based solution. However, Apple removed Valve Software's Steam Link app in May 2018. Citing business conflicts, much has changed since then, including the addition of Xbox Wireless and PlayStation 4 DualShock controller support. Meanwhile, Valve added Bluetooth Low Energy support to its custom Steam controller so gamers could pair it with mobile devices. The Steam Link app finally returned in May 2019, allowing PC gamers to play their favorite Steam titles on iPhone, iPad, and Apple TV. According to Valve, your host PC must have a 4-core processor at the very least to use Steam Link. The company doesn't specify any other minimum or recommended hardware requirements. However, your PC should run your library at an acceptable resolution and frame rate. Even while streaming, your host PC should also use a wired, Ethernet, or 5G HZ wireless connection. The former is your best option. Although most home networks don't have Ethernet cables draped everywhere, the same is recommended for client PCs. Finally, Valve expanded Steam's streaming component, now dubbed Remote Play, in June 2019. As long as you pair the host and client, and the host remains actively connected to the internet, you can stream your PC library from anywhere, not just when you're at home. Again, though, the network connection is vital, even more so if you want to stream games via a cellular connection. Ultimately, gameplay relies on your host PC's hardware, its connection to the local network, the local traffic, and your client device. To stream outside your home, you have to consider additional factors, including your internet's bandwidth, your wireless carrier's connection, and the proximity of Valve's closest data center. In this guide, we'll show you how to enable Remote Play, pair your controllers, and link your Apple devices. To enable Remote Play, turn on your host PC, open Steam, and sign into your account. Click Steam in the top left corner, and then select Settings from the drop-down menu. In the pop-up panel, click Remote Play, formerly in Home Streaming, and then click the checkbox next to Enable Remote Play if it's not already checkmarked. Next, click Advanced Host Options below the linked devices list. On the following screen, you can make adjustments to enable the best remote gameplay possible. For starters, disable audio on the host. Select the Enable Hardware Encoding and Prioritize Network Traffic options. And then click OK. For the best results, don't allow Steam to change the resolution to match your streaming client. For example, if you stream to a 4K TV, but your PC can't handle that resolution, you'll experience low frame rates and input lag. If necessary, you can adjust the resolution manually in-game to match the client device. Another option is to adjust the capture resolution dynamically. This bases the image quality on your network's bandwidth. So, if someone starts watching Hulu or Netflix while you're streaming a game, this option lowers the resolution, so you don't experience low frame rates or lag. We'll start with Apple TV. You might want to enable this option if you have a huge 4K TV connected to your Apple TV device. Or, perhaps you work on a computer all day and don't want to sit in front of one to play games. This setup provides you with a console-like experience. Next, use the Siri Remote Trackpad to highlight remotes and devices, press down on the trackpad to select it. PlayStation 4 DualShock controller, press and hold the PS and share buttons until the light bar flashes. When your controller appears on the Other Devices list, select it, and then press down on the remote's trackpad. After a moment, Apple TV moves the controller under My Devices. Of course, not every controller works the same. Here are some shortcuts you can press for inputs that aren't physically available on your model. The process to connect a controller to an iPhone or iPad is similar to the one covered above, but it's much shorter. Simply tap Settings, and then Bluetooth. Make sure the Bluetooth option is toggled on green. When Bluetooth is enabled, your controller appears on the Other Devices list. Tap it, and it will move to My Devices. You don't need a controller to play games on an iPhone or iPad. Steam Link includes touchscreen controls, similar to those you see in mobile games, like a virtual D-pad and action buttons. If you own Valve's unique game controller, you can pair it with an Apple device after performing a firmware update. To get started, connect the controller to your PC via a USB cable. Next, open Steam and log into your account. Click Steam in the top left corner, and then select Settings from the drop-down menu. In the Steam Big Picture pop-up that appears, select your Steam controller from the Detected Controllers list. When its details appear on the right, click Bluetooth FW to update the firmware. If you haven't done this already, the update adds the ability to pair your Steam controller with mobile devices using Bluetooth Low Energy (BLE). Click Start to begin. But, as noted in the BLE update pop-up, don't disconnect the USB cable during the update. To use your Steam controller with the Steam Link app, you have to enable the Bluetooth Low pairing mode. Here are the 4 modes the Steam controller now supports. X button plus Steam button equals receiver pairing mode pairs the controller to the supplied USB-based wireless receiver, non-Bluetooth. Next, refer to the Bluetooth instructions in the Apple TV and iPhone, iPad sections to connect your Steam controller with your Apple TV, iPhone, or iPad. With your host and controllers ready, you can now download and install the Steam Link app. Open it, and then click or tap Get Started on the introductory screen. You're then prompted to pair a controller. This step merely provides instructions, so you can skip it if you followed the previous steps. Your controller is already paired. Anyway, if you're going to play games on an iPhone or iPad, select Use Touch Control to use an on-screen gamepad. On the Connect to Computer screen, select your host PC. If it's not on the list, click or tap Rescan. If it still doesn't appear, check the PC's network connection and firewall settings, and verify that it and the client device are on the same network. Once paired, Steam Link tests the network connection between your host PC and the client device. Click or tap OK after the test completes. If you return to the Remote Play settings in Steam, you should now see your linked devices in the list. For the following example, we added an iPhone and Apple TV. Ideally, you want to use the same network to pair the host and client. If that's not possible, though, click or tap Other Computer on the Connect to Computer screen to retrieve a 4-digit PIN. On the host PC, access the Remote Play settings in Steam. Click Pair Steam Link, and then type the 4-digit PIN. At the end of the setup, the initial screen confirms your connection to the host PC and controller. It also gives a brief description of the overall connection quality, good, low, and so on. Select Start Playing to load Steam's Big Picture mode. After that, select your library, and you can launch any Steam game installed on your host PC. Select Settings to change hosts. Configure the controller, or adjust the streaming settings. Note that in the network settings, you can test your connection. There's an Advanced section, too, where you can enable desktop streaming, limit the bandwidth or resolution, and more. Text source, howtogeek.com.